Guys, this is some crazy news today. A man is charged for acting like a carrier agent. He stole 9.5 million in goods. Alvarez, a Chicago man, faces federal charge posing as a carrier agent. The Chicago man was tricking company to let him receive more than 9.5 million in goods. He was tended to steal 13.5 million in goods. He actually made off with more than 9.5 million worth of items, including liquor and commercial grade copper. Authorities say in the indictment. The scheme lasts from March 20th through September 2023. That's crazy. They didn't catch him. That is wild. So it lasted that long. Woo. Alvarez worked with unidentified names and using fake names to pull schemes. He was submitting bids to pick up the shipment and was not dropping the shipment off at the right destination. So he was picking up the shipment, saying it was going here, and it didn't go in that direction and went to a whole nother direction. Alvarez removed the good from the original truck and placed them on another one. Then the second truck with the stolen item go to the new location. Dang, he didn't get caught to now. That's crazy. So what y'all think, man? What y'all think about it? It's crazy. Let me know in the comment what y'all think. Alvarez created phony carrier names called Best Global Express, Mayo Trans, and Martin Global. And he was acting like a legit carrier and broker. Alvarez recruited people to join his scheme and gave them fraudulent license and passport. Oh man, that's crazy. Cargo thief growth pushes industry fraud at an all-time high. Alvarez is expecting to appear in court again on January 10th for a detention hearing. So what y'all think, man? What y'all think? How many years he gonna do based on the information I just told y'all? And let me know in the comment. According to Cargo Thief, they're saying cargo thief increasing. Cargo thief impacting the logistic and transportation industry. Cargo thief is increasing 46% year over year to 925 incident and 10% from the fourth quarter of 2023. Y'all check the video out.
CargoNet has it reported as cargo theft being at a 10-year high right now. Ooh. Personally, the data only goes so far back, right? I've been doing this longer than most of the new data sets have been around. So personally, I think it's at an all-time high. The industry's really never seen this type of activity before.
Interesting. So what are we doing about it? What's the industry doing about it?
Well, let's talk about the contributing. Yeah, let's talk about that first. So certainly the economy has some impact on it. You mentioned inflation earlier. When there's higher value on certain goods, the cargo thieves are certainly going to target that. I think the economy sometimes gets a little overstated as to, having a bigger contribution to the increase in theft than really exists. It's more so, I think the economy dictates what gets stolen and why it gets stolen. But there's impact there for sure. But it's really the ease of use. So the ability for the bad guys to actually use all the systems that the supply chain has put in place to make itself more effective and efficient makes it easier for the thieves to steal the cargo. So, basically using the internet, load boards, email, all these types of things so they can steal things virtually. So when we look at, third quarter so far this year, according to CargoNet, it's up over 700% over third quarter last year. And that's third quarter last year was a big increase already. So 700% over third quarter last year is a big deal. And the ability to steal this stuff virtually, basically, sitting anywhere, they can steal and target cargo that's moving anywhere, because most of that increase is in strategic theft, and strategic theft is when they use the trickery to actually get you to give them the freight.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. We had strategic theft versus straight theft. We talked about that during the summertime. Is that what this represents right here?
Yeah, the biggest increases right now are in strategic theft. And so if we talk about, the three main ways that we've always identified strategic theft, the first one is identity theft. And that's basically they pretend to be a legitimate carrier. They steal the identity of a legitimate trucking company. They pretend to be that trucking company. They bid on a load. They're assigned the load. they disappear with that. The second most common is double brokering. And double brokering starts with identity theft of a trucking company. So they'll pretend to be that trucking company. They get the load brokered to them. Then they turn around and pretend to be a freight broker. They rebroker the load to a legitimate trucking company. That trucking company has no idea that they're being contacted by, an organized cargo theft ring. They just think they're being contacted by a freight broker. And then they'll have that trucking company go out and pick up the load for them. And the third most common method is fictitious pickup. And fictitious pickup is where everything's actually been done right. The freight brokers hired a legitimate trucking company to pick up the load. They vetted that carrier, and the carrier is supposed to pick up the load at 1 o'clock on Friday. But the bad guys show up at 11 o'clock on Friday, pretend to be that legitimate carrier, pick up the load, disappear. Legitimate carrier shows up, at the scheduled time, freight's already gone. Those are the three most common methods that we're seeing right now.
Devious. Okay, so what are they targeting? What is on the thieves' Christmas list? What are they stealing right now?
Food and beverage has been the leading commodity so far in 2023. And I always say, if you can say cargo theft normalizes, when cargo theft normalizes, food and beverage will usually float to the top as the number one category. But going into the fourth quarter, we're going to see electronics targeted, tablets, gaming consoles, things like that for sure. And then you have to think about the subcategories within food and beverage. Alcohol is usually number one, and then energy drinks right after that. And then it kind of breaks up frozen meats and seafoods after that, things like that.
Interesting. All right. That does not sound good at all. So we know how cargo is being stolen. We know what's being stolen. Can you give us an idea of the hotspots, though? What is being targeted right now? Where's the areas that we should try to avoid or at least be extra secure in?
Most of the hotspots are pretty familiar to us, the ones that you and I usually talk about. California leads the nation, always has, even though they have the most law enforcement dedicated to it. Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, Illinois. Recently, Arizona has entered the top 10 on cargo theft. And a lot of that is because loads are being followed out of California. Drivers are stopping in Arizona due to lower fuel prices. So we're seeing some of those loads get followed over. But again, we go back to the ease of use. When they can basically steal freight virtually, that means they can now sit anywhere and steal freight anywhere. So we are seeing a spreading of cargo theft to different parts of the country that maybe traditionally weren't involved. Now a cargo thief that's using the internet to steal freight doesn't have to be in a port area or in that Southern California area. They can target a load that's coming out of Wyoming just by doing it virtually. And, we're seeing bigger international involvement in some of these organized rings, and that creates a bigger market, and they can also operate internationally. So now, again, using that virtual nature of strategic theft, they don't even have to be in the United States to target freight.
That video, cargo thief is decreasing. Like they said, the highest is in California. What y'all think they should do in the bottom screen? What you think they should do to really approve this so we can bring these numbers down? Inflation still high, and people, they do anything to make that quick buck. So, man, what y'all think they should do? Put in the bottom description, man, and let me know in the comments, and I got more content coming.